Broadcasting live from one of the most dangerous places in Canada, reporting 100% from the local Rant and Rave so you don't have to, it's the Wetaskiwin Weekly News.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rant and Rave newsroom. Today is Tuesday, February 20th, 2020. I am Scott Kaiba and here is your breaking news. Yesterday, we saw a post from Valerie regarding a public meeting that was called in regards to the Wetaskiwin Emergency Shelter. R&rnews attended the meeting this morning, and here is the video footage of the motion brought forward and the following live votes.
Councillor Nelson, it would be the motion would read, I move the City Council close the shelter at the earliest possible date with administration working with the Lighthouse Church and shelter staff.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
The council chambers were packed full of residents, and many were given the opportunity to speak before the motion and vote. There were many people in favor of keeping it open, and also many who wanted it closed. The full video of the meeting will be posted later for those of you who want to see and hear the whole thing. Last night, after Valerie's post to the Rant and Rave, we decided to go live on location to find and interview a Wetaskiwin homeless resident. Here is the video footage from last night at a local bank.
Hey everyone, welcome to another R&R News. So I saw Rory sitting in the bank here all by himself at 11:17 tonight on Wednesday. And so I thought I'd bring him some food, hey, McDonald's, and got myself some fries. And I just thought we'd have a chat, what it's like living in the bank, all right? So what's your story? Where are you from?
Musquetees.
You're from Musquetees?
Yeah.
Originally, you were born there?
Yeah. Born in Wetaskiwin.
Born in Wetaskiwin? And how long have you been, are you considered homeless?
Yeah.
And how long have you been homeless for?
I was homeless for almost 5 years in Edmonton.
5 years in Edmonton? And
Yeah.
so when did you move to Wetaskiwin to be homeless?
Like 2.5 months.
Right when the shelter opened?
Yeah.
So are you, because you're not in the shelter now, right?
Yeah. I got kicked out.
And why did you get kicked out of the shelter?
I was a treatise like little kids and I hit one of them.
You hit one of the kids?
No, one of the staff members.
Oh, the staff members, like you,
Yeah, they treat us like kids.
oh, they treat you like kids. So are there,
Jail or something.
it's like jail? Is it like, really? It's like, I've never been to jail, so.
I'm trying to treat it like that.
Were you under the influence of anything when you retaliated against?
Just alcohol.
Just alcohol. And so when you are violent at the shelter, they kick you out forever or for a couple of days, or how's it work?
Yeah, for 3 days, but now I'm kicked out for good.
So you were kicked out for 3 days, but then they changed it to permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you, okay.
Yeah, but 5 days I've been in the banks.
You've been in the banks for 5 days.
Yeah, sleeping.
Now, when you sleep in the bank, do customers still come in and use the machines, or are they
Yeah.
scared to come in?
They come in.
They still come in? Do they give you any money or anything, or do you ask them for money when they come
I
in?
don't ask them, I just lay there and then somebody will give me money.
Some give you money. They feel sorry for you?
Yeah.
And so you've stayed at the Royal Bank. You're staying here tonight. And where were you last night? This one?
Yeah.
Is there some banks you can't stay in?
There's a real off for a while. And they kept moving to TD and they moved here.
And why do you have to switch banks?
These cops come and chase you away.
So what happens if the cops come tonight and chase you away? Where do you go?
I don't know. Find somewhere.
The drunk tank?
No, probably go to the hospital.
Oh, go to the hospital. So why are you homeless? What, like, I'm curious to know your life story. Like, what happened in your life that made you homeless?
I don't know. Nowhere to go.
Right, but don't you ever want to better your life and
I tried that.
what did you do?
And I had an apartment in Edmonton.
Okay. And were you on any assistance programs or anything?
I was with my ex that time.
Okay, you were with your ex in Edmonton.
Yeah. We were homeless there for 2 years on the street.
On the street.
Yeah, and it was shot a coyote.
Okay. And so have you ever had a job?
For a while.
Sorry, doing what?
For a while, roofing.
Roofing. Okay. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So how are you on AISH or do you get any government
I
money?
have no income right now. I have no IDs or nothing.
You have no IDs, no income. So how do you make money in Wetaskiwin? How do you survive?
You ask people sometimes, you know.
So you're panhandling.
Yeah.
And how much money do you make a day in Wetaskiwin panhandling?
I don't know, like $20, 50,
20 bucks?
$50 mostly.
50 bucks a day? And then what do you buy with that? Do you buy alcohol with it or cigarettes?
Cigarettes, yeah.
So are you under the influence of alcohol right now?
I had a few beers, that's about it.
Okay. And when you're drinking alcohol, since you don't have a place to go, do you ever get stopped by the police with alcohol on you and get arrested for having open alcohol?
Yeah, they take me to the junk tank, spill our beer out.
And do people call the police on you a lot?
Yeah.
So how many?
Depends where you hang out.
So how many times have you been to the drunk tank this month? It's the 19th of February right now.
3 times?
3 times. Have the cops ever ignored you? Like they saw you with alcohol and they just let you continue?
Yeah.
They have? How often does that happen?
Not, not very often.
But it does happen
Yeah.
in Wetaskiwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people in Wetaskiwin are afraid of people like you who ask them for money. Is there scary people in Wetaskiwin that they need to be
Not really, no.
No? How many people do you know that are in your situation in Wetaskiwin like this?
There's a few.
Like 10, 20, 5,
20.
20 people. And they're all at the shelter right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think of the shelter? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
It's
Like,
a good thing, but I'm kicked out. Everybody else ain't.
yeah. So has the shelter made your life better? Like when you were able to go there?
Yeah.
And how? What made it better for you?
You get eat there, you get shower, you get clothes washed.
Clothes wash, eat there, and shower.
Yeah.
And what about during the day, though? Because when the shelter is right here downtown, you spend most of your day at the library and around this area. And then do people ever complain or treat you bad? Right? Is there like a lot of racism happening? No? Wetaskiwin people aren't too racist to you?
Not really. Usually, sometimes if I sleep in the library, they wake up and tell you to leave.
Yeah, they tell you to leave in the library.
Because you get kicked out of the shelter early.
So a lot of Wetaskiwin people don't like how downtowns become with the people that stay at the shelter that then hang out in this area all day long. Do you see that as a problem or not?
Not really.
No? It's because it's not your problem, or it's not because you're not hurting anybody, or
Yeah, they just walk around those two.
so like if you had to use the washroom right now, what would you do?
Go behind the bank.
Go behind the bank. I know that some people were complaining that they would just go inside the bank. Maybe you have to be really, really intoxicated to do that, or what?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a mess for the business, right?
Yeah.
So what can we do as Wetaskiwin citizens and businesses, like to help someone like you? I mean, if you're banned from the shelter, how do we help you?
They continue to be banning people. It's winter out there, it's cold.
I know, but you have to have rules in a
I
shelter.
know, but still, they treat us like little kids. Like kids.
But do you think they treat you like a little kid because sometimes there's a bunch of shenanigans going on at the shelter? Like, I mean, you must have seen a lot of shenanigans at the shelter, right?
Yeah.
Where people shouldn't be there, right? Whether they're violent or doing drugs or alcohol or stuff like that. So, but the problem now is, Rory, is that you're not allowed to go in the shelter,
No.
and you have to sleep in a bank, which the cops kick you out of. So how do we get Rory to an apartment? How do we get Rory to be a contributing member of the society instead of someone that just tours around Wetaskiwin? And how do we help you?
I don't understand. Get my IDs.
Do you want help? Do you want to be living like this?
If I get my IDs, I will do stuff like that. Get my own income going.
Yeah, get your income going. So what's stopping you from getting your IDs?
I have no money in there.
Well, you get $50 a day panhandling.
Yeah, but that's for the funds too that are helping.
Yeah. So like, what do you understand? Do you see Wetaskiwin has an issue with homeless? Like, do you understand that there's people that don't like
Yeah.
seeing homeless? So, if you had an apartment to go to, how about social programs? Have you ever checked out any social programs to help you get back on your feet? To get
No, I haven't checked.
So no one's showed you anything, or no one's been willing to help you? I mean, people are friendly, and lots of people will agree to, help you if you ask, right? So have you ever asked for someone? Like, have you put yourself into? Are you an alcoholic? You
Yeah,
think?
I'm gonna call.
So have you ever gone to any AA meetings or anything
I went to one on Friday.
in Wetaskiwin here?
Yeah.
And did it help you? Like, what? Why do you go?
I just listen to stories and one.
Listen to stories. Yeah. So I just I mean, you seem like a really nice, genuinely nice person, but when you walk into a bank with a stranger on the floor, like, people are going to be worried and scared, and they don't want to have to deal with a mess like garbage and whatever else happens. When if you're too drunk to go outside to use the bathroom, and then you make a huge mess. So I don't know what the solution is for Wetaskiwin.
During the daytime, I go in the library, use the bathroom, provincial building.
Provincial building and the library.
Yeah, just use the washroom.
Yeah.
But at night times, I just go where it's dark.
But
No one can see.
don't you want more out of life, though? Like,
But,
what? It just boggles my mind. Like, I know it's an addiction, and I know it's a problem, and it's hard to get out of living like this, right? But
yeah,
like a month from now, you're going to be doing the same thing, sleeping in banks still.
probably.
And it's sad for me. I mean, I don't know how to what Wetaskiwin can do to prevent this sort of situation. Like, you have no solutions either, right?
No.
You don't know? And so now that you're kicked out of the shelter and staying in a bank, if the police were to say to you, Rory, you can't sleep anywhere at night, you have to go outside, would you move to a different town, or would you?
Probably.
Yeah? So that would solve the problem of people sleeping in banks if they just shut the banks down and not had access to them at night? And because you'd have to, right? Because you can't survive out in minus 20 right now, right?
No.
Huh. So here we sit, wondering what the solution could be. There must be social programs, like
I don't know.
do they ever, when you're at the shelter or when you're at AA meetings, does anybody ever say, let's get you into some sort of program?
No.
No? Would you join a program if someone asked you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah? Would you take a job if someone offered you a job? What kind of work would you do? Would you do labor work? Would you shovel sidewalks?
I'll do that.
Would you work
Just
for,
do that.
would you pick up garbage for the city of
Yeah,
Wetaskiwin?
there's been paid for that.
Yeah? But you need ID and stuff to get a job, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the other homeless people in Wetaskiwin would be willing to work if someone offered them a job?
Yeah, but they all have.
What about you? You're not on camera. You're off camera. The camera's pointing toward us. But I'm wondering if.
Do not have a sexual relationship with that guy.
All right, Mr. Clinton over there. Well, so how old are you?
I'm 43.
You're 43 years old. Do you have any children?
I got 7.
You have 7 children.
Yeah,
Out of how many marriages or how many relationships?
3.
3. And do you see your children?
Yeah, it's came from Edmonton. That's where my kids are.
Your kids are in Edmonton. All of them?
No, just 5 of them.
5 of them. And so they don't offer. They're grown-up children, I take it.
No,
No, they're all young,
yeah.
under 18.
No, there's 2 of them that are older. My
Okay.
son's gonna be 24.
And he's never offered to take you in to live with him.
No, I don't about him.
No, but would he take you in if you asked?
Yeah, he probably.
And what about your exes?
No,
None of them would take you in.
no.
No. Do you have a relationship with anyone right now?
Just not really.
No. Hmm. I don't know. So I don't know what Wetaskiwin. I know there's a meeting tomorrow, an emergency meeting at City Hall, to discuss the shelter. And you know, do you think the shelter does more good in Wetaskiwin than bad?
That's good.
Yeah, you think it does? Do you think it helps people though? Like, do you think
they
it?
have somewhere to look up to, look out for and go, you know.
Right.
They let you in at 7,
They let you in at 7, and then you have to leave at
8.
8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything in the shelter? Do you have to clean or
No,
anything?
I was vacuuming the rugs.
Vacuuming the rugs.
Yeah, when I was
What about laundry? Do you have to put away your laundry in the morning or do any cleaning?
At nights, you do it laundry, get it in the morning.
Okay. So they do make you do a little bit of work.
We just volunteer help.
Yeah. So if you had a choice, if you had the city of Wetaskiwin say, we'll let you stay at the shelter again, even though you're banned, but you have to do some sort of work the next day. You have to either shovel some snow, or you have to pick garbage, or you have to clean, or whatever. You would be willing to do that?
Yeah, but then as soon as I get back.
Yeah. Have you ever had an apartment? I think I asked you that already.
Yeah, in Edmonton.
In Edmonton, yeah, with your ex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about brothers and sisters? Do you have any brothers and sisters?
No. I don't know about she's only me and my little sister left.
Okay. And your parents are gone now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's your little sister live?
Calgary.
And do you stay with her sometimes?
If I can get out, I'd go there.
So she'd let you move in with her?
Yeah, she's married over
Hmm. So is there, I think I asked you this earlier, but out of all of the people that wander the streets in Wetaskiwin, should residents like me be worried that you're going to hurt us?
I don't see why not.
So
we don't go around starting violence.
you don't start violence?
No.
So when you approach someone in a parking lot, do they freak out?
No, they don't freak out.
Sometimes?
No, you just don't be rude,
Don't be mean? They just tell them not to be. So sometimes you tell people not to be rude.
Yeah, you just ask them.
Do you give them
me some, like $2 for a bag of chips or something?
$2 for a bag of chips? Does most of your money that you get go to alcohol and cigarettes?
Yeah, cigarettes mostly.
Yeah, and you tell people you need food though, right?
Yeah.
Even though you get food at now,
Yeah.
and you get food at the shelter. So people could, instead of giving money to the people, they could give money to an organization that will house people or support people, help them find work to buy, support people, help them find jobs, and help them get back on their feet, right?
Yeah.
If you could quit drinking tomorrow and not be addicted and not have the alcohol, withdrawals and stuff, would you quit drinking?
Yeah, I would.
Do you hate drinking? Is it something that
I don't know, just to me it kills my pain.
it kills your pain?
Yeah, but then when you're sober, it's the pain's there too, and
So your pain of being homeless, or you have other pain?
it's kind of pain.
You want to talk about it?
Not really.
No. So you'd have to have your pain go away as well to not drink.
Yeah.
Because every time you think about your pain, you want to drink.
Yeah, pretty much.
So are there a lot of kind-hearted people in Wetaskiwin that treat you with respect and dignity?
Well, there's some people out there, some people they don't even ask for money, they come give it to
They
you.
just come give it to you?
Buy you something to eat.
And you don't see a lot of racism in town?
Not really.
No, people treat everybody kind of equal?
Yeah.
That's good. Huh. Well, you seem like you haven't been drinking much tonight.
No.
But I don't know how much. You probably are tolerant to alcohol. You can drink a lot of it and not have it affected you. So do you regret what happened at the shelter, and could you take it back
Yeah,
if you
I
could?
would take it back.
Did you apologize to anybody there?
I apologize to the one I hit. And he shook my hand and hugged me.
He shook your hand and hugged you, the one that you hit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And if you could talk to the mayor about the shelter and tell him, what would your advice be to the mayor? Should they close the shelter to remove people like you and other people that wouldn't wander the streets? Because if you didn't have a shelter in Wetaskiwin to go to and a bank, you wouldn't be here, right?
No.
So closing the shelter would solve their problem of you being here.
They have a lot of people in the banks and every bank in Wetaskiwin.
In Wetaskiwin. But they could lock the bank at night, right? I know some,
Yeah.
like the post office used to be
Yeah,
open.
there's some TD Bank, they lock it now.
TD Bank, they locked up, yeah. Yeah, because they don't want the mess, right? They don't want to deal with the garbage and
Well, I
the...
clean up in here and I leave in the morning.
Yeah, but some people don't, right?
Yeah.
Some people make a mess on the floor and leave it stinking,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's horrible, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to clean that up. But if you clean up your mess, I mean, at least you're cleaning up after yourself, right?
Yeah, so they don't mind it if it's clean, then it's clean.
Yeah. So you've had so do you think you've had a rough life, Rory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever think about how things could have been different or have regrets in your life?
I don't know, not really.
Not really. You're kind of because you seem like to be a jolly kind of a person, right?
Yeah.
When you were at the shelter, did you do any?
I do art.
You did art with other people, or
Yeah.
okay? So
Well,
you
when I first went there, I started drawing.
started drawing.
Yeah, and then they said, but they seen my art and they bought me some art stems and some books.
All right, and then so do you do any teaching of art there?
Not really, just
No.
on my own.
So are you considered an artist?
Kind of, yeah.
Maybe you could teach a class and people would give you money for you to teach them how to do art. No?
I wouldn't mind.
You wouldn't mind? So what you're saying is there's ideas that the citizens could come up with to help people like you get you off the street, right?
Yeah. Because they're going to bring a power jug there, because I see power.
Yeah?
They're going to bring one, but I told them not to bring because the jug is sacred.
Yeah, it's a sacred thing, and it's not.
Yeah, because there's alcohol and jugs inside the shelter.
Oh.
You can't be bringing that in.
So do you think that people sneak in alcohol and drugs to the shelter? Yeah, you
When I
know.
was there, I was doing it.
You were bringing it in,
Yeah.
but that's
They
not
didn't-
allowed. That'll get you
I
kicked.
know, they didn't know though.
But that's the things. Like the shelter is there for people to be
Yeah.
safe, and if people are dealing drugs and doing alcohol, that's not good either, right?
Yeah.
So should
I broke some rules, that's why I'm out here too.
you broke some extra rules, and that's why you're out here? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they need to have rules, right? Because if without rules, then it gets out of control, and then you can get hurt, right? I mean, nobody wants to get hurt. People under the influence, they could be dangerous, right?
Yeah.
So that would not be good. Somebody's coming into the bank. Look, they turned around. They didn't want to come in because they were freaked out of the chicken man.
Yeah.
See, it does affect people in Wetaskiwin because they tried to come in just now and then they just left. They probably saw my chicken hat and were freaked out. Oh, you still got your burger there? You're still going on it? Huh. So how much money do you have on you right now?
I have nothing.
Nothing? So you can't afford a hotel or anything? Or?
No.
Oh. I don't know what else I should ask you. Can you think of anything else you want to tell Wetaskiwin about your situation or anything else?
I know during the day, like in the winter time, you should have like a little place you can hang out. They open a library early at one time for shelter people. And they give free coffee, but then someone was wrecked because was sleeping in there.
Yeah, so you can't sleep in there.
No.
Yeah, so if they had a place for you to go in the daytime to do crafts and art and stuff, right?
That's what I was saying to the staff members there.
But won't you sneak in alcohol and drugs and?
Yeah, but that's kind of what messed it up.
Yeah, that's what happens. Is if you go in with alcohol and drugs and break the rules, you know, like.
Well, when you're homeless,
There's no rules, right?
Rules. It's just,
When you're homeless, there's no rules. Right, but you don't want to be homeless, right?
Yeah, because in the morning you're going to be real sick, so you try to bring something in to save it. I got one buddy, his name is Francis. He stashes his beer outside in the morning, he goes and finds it.
And he's at the shelter right now?
Yeah, they're all at the shelter, the people I hang around with.
So if there was no shelter tomorrow, where does everybody go that you know of? What happens?
I don't know,
Are they all sleeping in banks?
pretty much.
Or they're leaving Wetaskiwin, and that solves that
But
problem.
some of them got family or whatever. I got no family.
You got no family, yeah. There needs to be a shelter for people in need when their house burns down, when their apartment burns down, for people that have nowhere to go. But there also needs to be really strict rules, as far as I can tell.
And when I was there too, when I had to go check on my clothes, my bag was all dumped out.
In the
All my jeans got stolen from me and I couldn't get rid of their bags.
jeez,
You know, they said you let people go in and the staff members are supposed to grab their bags for them.
yeah, I
That's
know.
what they do in Edmonton.
And then, but rules, like, a lot of people don't follow the rules apparently, right?
No.
And that's why there's rules.
Yeah, that's why there's
That's why you're not supposed to take alcohol and drugs into the shelter or anywhere else, or I mean, not anywhere else, but public library or whatever. And
Well, even if they do find it, what they do in Edmonton, they put it with your stuff.
yeah, they put it away. Yeah,
Yeah,
store
but
it.
in here,
For them.
what they do is they spill it and then that costs us money.
They dump
I
it
have a
out.
hard time making that money for our booze.
Yeah,
And the only cops do spill out your booze out, not the shelter people.
the cops spill it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the shelters are supposed to put it away for the morning.
right. Well, each shelter, I'm assuming, would have different rules on how they handle stuff like that, right? And
Yeah.
and they don't want.
There's just certain ones that do that at the shelter though.
Yeah,
There's some of the other people, some of the other staff, they find it, they lock it up.
They
put
lock
their
it up.
name on
yeah. Other people just dump it out.
it. Yeah.
So the rules aren't clearly laid out for what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So more rules might be better as well.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But
I just asked if you have booze, you can lock it up. Like, that's what they do in the city, Edmonton, and here.
they don't want to be a hotel for people though, right? Like
No.
we don't want to, like Wetaskiwin essentially is paying for you to eat and sleep there, or they were until you got kicked out, right?
Yeah, but all the food there is donated from other churches.
But I know, but money comes from somebody, right? It doesn't come out of magic. People are paying for it. The government's paying for it. Someone's paying for it. So it would make more sense for someone like me or the city to help you get on your feet and be a contributing member of the society instead of someone that just uses the facilities and uses the free stuff,
There's a couple people that do that. They have places in the city here,
right?
in Edmonton and Wetaskiwin here,
Yeah.
and they still sleep there.
They still sleep at the shelter. Why do they do that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's probably pretty cozy there.
I don't know.
Maybe they like the
If I had
company.
an apartment, I'd be at my own place.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
wouldn't go there. I'd take some of my friends to my place.
So how do we get you an apartment? What needs to happen?
I'd get my IDs and get some income going.
So if you had your IDs, would you have income?
Yeah, I'd be out of income.
So you need someone to help you get IDs.
Yeah, that's what I need. ID.
How do you?
Yeah, band ID and a government ID.
So you can you go to the? Can't you go to the? You mean the band in Musquecheese?
Yeah.
So can't you go to Musquecheese band and get your ID?
I'm going to see if my buddy will help me out.
Why do you need a buddy to help you out?
Because I got no money and see if he'll help me get my ID.
But can't you just go there, like get someone to drive you there?
If I can,
Find a person during the daytime
yeah.
that
I
wants to
still have
take
to
you?
pay for it.
Oh, your ID. How much does it cost?
Like $10.
Yeah, you got $10. You got that's like a morning wherever. You get $50 a day. You said you make.
But that's not just me.
Yeah.
Making it
Okay, so you get your ID, and then how do you get money from that? You go to where? Government building?
And, my band.
Your band?
I'm trying to get a post here. I've been trying since I was 18 and still can't get one.
Why not?
I don't know. I apply every year.
You apply every year, and you can't get it.
And they still don't get it.
Huh.
I was 18 in 94 and I was applying for a house. I'm still applying for the street.
Yeah. So it's difficult, is
I
what you're
have
saying.
my kids if I have my own house.
Yeah.
mean, my ex-mother-in-law's keeping all my kids.
Your ex-mother-in-law has your kids
Yeah, in Edmonton.
in Edmonton? Yeah. So do you ever get people like me that just come and want to sit down and chat with you, regular people, or not really?
No.
No? Well, it's scary. It's scary for people to meet people that they're not sure on, right? They don't know if you're going to be
Well, it's
violent.
not just us natives, too. There's a couple of white guys I see walking around.
Right.
Some of them come in here and warm up, too.
So do you do any stealing?
Not still.
You don't shoplift from stores and
No.
get yourself in that sort of trouble, or break into
I
houses?
ended up in jail when I tried that.
Yeah. Is there people that are at the shelter that are criminals?
Yeah,
There are?
pretty much.
You know for sure?
I know some of them.
Well, you could call Crime Stoppers,
I know.
and then you could get a reward.
No,
No, that doesn't work that way?
not my friends.
They're your friends. So they do shoplifting from places in town?
Not really. Some people, but not all.
Well, what sort of crimes are they doing?
Just stealing. Like just food and you can't get it.
They
I
go
got money for it to do
So-
steal food.
Steal food? What about break and enter into housing and
I
garages?
don't know. Nobody does that.
Nobody does that? No.
And the opportunity is like right here. That's where I'm at.
So is there a place by Pizza Hut that there's a tent or something set up there?
Yeah, that's one of my buddies, Joel Tom.
So is there people there tonight?
Yeah.
So why don't you
And he's
stay?
got a fire pit.
Okay.
There's just too many people in already.
And who decides the rules there?
The one that made it.
So there's a homeless person that made it,
Yeah.
and he
He's got a fire pit inside there.
lays the rules down,
Yeah, he's got a tarp,
right?
a big tarp
Yeah.
over it, and he's got a tent inside there.
And why can't you stay there?
Because there's too many people there now.
Oh.
He's got couches in there too.
He's got couches in there.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's like a mini
Yeah,
shelter,
he's got a propane heater.
and you can drink in there and
Yeah.
do whatever else you want. So how many people stay there instead of the shelter?
There's quite a few.
And they're from, where are they from? Around here too?
Yeah. When I was at the city, I really don't stay at my mother-in-law's, but when I go visit my kids, I stay there for about a week and then I go back out of the street. And I had an opportunity to come out this way 2.5 months ago, and I stayed.
Yeah. Well, what made you pick Wetaskiwin?
Because I miss my friends.
You missed your friends.
I was in the city for 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you could find a ride back to the city and stay there again,
Yeah, I can.
but you would rather be with the people that you know here in Wetaskiwin and your friends here.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like if you were given an opportunity to change your life, you would want to do that.
But I would,
Yeah, and that would just take a little bit of money to get you going,
yeah.
and you could get a job doing stuff that you can do,
Yes, in Edmonton, you got day jobs.
and then you can contribute to the society
Yeah.
instead of taking from the society.
So they said if I had one place in Wetaskiwin, I'd bring my friends to my place.
Wouldn't they wreck it?
Well, no matter, as long as they want, they're my friends.
Yeah, but it's not if you owned your place or if you rented it.
I rented it.
Yeah, well then the landlord's going to get screwed because you're going to trash the place.
Not really.
No, why not?
My friends are not like that. If they were like that, the shelter would be all wrecked up.
Oh yeah, well the shelter you get kicked out of,
Yeah.
I guess, right? So.
My friends are respectable though.
They are?
Yeah, they don't go around this time and everything like that. He's walking around all day, getting cold. Try to find somewhere nice and warm to sit.
Right. But a lot of people don't want you guys here.
I know, I heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the mayor told us about it.
Oh, you talked to the mayor?
He gave me the shelter when I was in there.
Okay, and what did he tell you?
He said that there's people that are scared of us.
And did you tell them they don't need to be scared of you?
Yeah, they're like, we're not doing anything wrong. It's called businesses by the shelter, they said.
Yeah. Well, loitering is wrong, and
Yeah.
begging for money is wrong, and sleeping in banks is wrong. So, I mean, you're technically doing something wrong,
Yeah.
according to the law of the land, right? But as far as hurting people, you're not hurting people, and you're not stealing from people, and you're not stabbing people and murdering people, right? You're just using the system, what's available to you to use.
Yeah.
The shelter and the library and the provincial building and the banks.
We see when Tim Hortons and Wendy's, we sit there in the mornings till the library opens.
Right?
We just sit there most of the day
Yeah.
till the shelter opens.
There's no food at the library though, right?
No.
No.
You go to that church over here and eat 10:30 to 12:30.
So what is your suggestion then for the businesses that are concerned, that are complaining to the mayor? How do we get them off your back? What do we do?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. We need a place for you to go in the day, but then you're not going to have money for alcohol, right? Because you got to talk to residents to get money, right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to help either. Sounds to me like you need a solution that.
In Edmonton, they have a place called Boyle Street. Everybody sits there all day. You can sit there and you can drink and whatever.
But how do you
You
get?
just put it in a cup and they can there's a bunch of beer.
But you still need money for that to buy your beer.
You know, that happens the night before.
Yeah, I know. How do you get that? That's the thing, is we got to try to figure out a way to solve the homeless problem, to get you into an apartment, to get you working, to get you making money, and have people not complain and have businesses not be scared to keep their doors open at night. Because there's people like we just saw that get freaked out when they see someone sleeping. Your bank is where they get their money from, and they're only probably coming here to take their money out, and so they see somebody in there and they're freaked.
I was in here last Sunday. These people came in,
Yeah.
pulled his money out, and he said, you want some money, give me money, and he gave me $20. And I went to this fast gas here, I had to go buy a burger.
Yeah. There's a lot of genuinely nice people in this town that
Yeah.
really care for people. I've seen it.
And people just standing outside somewhere, and people come around the corner, I got Tim Hortons, and here, I bought you a burger, coffee.
Yeah.
There's people out there like that, they're nice.
They are. Yeah. But I think it's not really, it's putting a Band-Aid over the problem, right? Like, to solve, Rory, to solve your problem, not a problem, but to make your, instead of being a user of the facilities and the shelter and the services and the now and the food bank and all that stuff, to change you into a person that can provide to those people, so you can be the one giving the person $20, or you can be the one helping people out, right? That's what we need to find an answer for.
You know, I went to court, that lawyer I used didn't help me get day school.
Day school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what he went to when I went to school,
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Day school money is called. It's going to help me. It's going to push it to get it in good line, Boston.
Did you graduate high school?
No, I went to grade 11.
Grade 11. So you can read and write?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to school in Calgary. That's where I was raised.
Yeah.
And
How was your
I
childhood?
found my mom when I was 6 years old hanging.
You found your mom hanging.
Yeah, she was dying of cirrhosis and she had long to live and she hung herself.
Oh man, and you're the one that found her.
Yeah.
That's horrible. That's horrible, Rory. Did that affect your life?
My brother I found.
You found your brother? You got some sad stories.
Yeah.
Man, that's part of your pain.
Pretty much.
Jeez. That's horrible.
I get mad at people when I see them be yelling at their moms and swearing. Tell them you should be happy you got a mom.
Yeah.
You can treat your mom right. That's going to be around forever.
You miss your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
My dad I lost 6 years ago.
Your dad you lost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
How did he die?
He was a dialysis, he was diabetic.
Diabetic.
He didn't drink.
So you miss your family a lot. Your mom and your dad and
Yeah,
your brother. Oh, Rory. Is there a...
I'm just sitting like in a bank all by myself. I just think and think about it.
Yeah.
How would I be living if you were alive?
Would it be different?
Probably.
Family makes a big difference in a person's life.
You see all these people with their families and family day.
Yeah?
I had nothing.
Oh,
People on the streets in my family.
yeah. Did you do anything on Family Day?
Just hung around, walking around.
Yeah. So is there anything else you want to tell Wetaskiwin people or have on camera, have on the record?
Just obey the rules, I guess.
Yeah?
Everybody sleeping in the banks. But I know what they're going to do if they shut it down.
You don't know what they're going to do if they shut it
Yeah,
down?
with all the other people.
So there's a big need for it.
Yeah, then Wetaskiwin will be really scared then because everybody will be sleeping all over the buildings.
You don't think people will leave Wetaskiwin though?
No.
They'll just sleep in apartment buildings anyway, so...
But in Safeway, we used to sleep in that one day. That apartment
Yeah?
in the lobby there.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is, Rory. I don't know what to tell you. But all I know is that there's a problem because people are scared. People
They're getting afraid of us.
people don't want to pay more tax dollars for supporting programs like the shelter and but you're saying that most of the people or all of them are nice, safe people. They're not going to hurt you or
No.
yeah. Well, that's good to know.
They don't go around hurting.
What's that?
They don't go around hurting people.
No, you seem like a genuinely nice person to me. And you've had a tough life. You've had a rough situation with your parents and your brother. You said your brother, right?
Yeah.
Like that's horrible. I can't imagine how you must be dealing with that. And alcohol helps take away that pain, but
It's there the next day.
it's there the next day, and you need more alcohol to get rid of the pain again. Yeah. Well, I wish there was more advice that I could give you or more help that I could do for you, but I guess, if they let you back in the shelter, I mean, that would be a start, but if they don't, I don't know what you're going to be doing over the next, at least the people that watch this video won't be scared of you. They have no reason to fear you, right? You promise?
No promise, yeah.
Okay. Well, Rory, it was really nice chatting with you. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me and tell me a little bit about your life and your story, and hopefully people will think a little differently when they see people walking around Wetaskiwin, and maybe.
I was in Red Deer too for a while in the streets over there for 3 years.
How does it compare to Wetaskiwin?
It's all right. And that shelter over there, it's called Mats.
Right?
And in the same building, there's a detox there. And I went in that detox about two times. And I sent myself out to school with my buddies. I was doing pretty good in the detox there.
And then what happened when you came out of detox?
I started drinking all over again.
Right away?
Yep. So step after step, same routine.
But while you were in detox, you didn't drink.
No.
And was your
You're
pain?
not allowed to go out there.
Yeah.
Well, you're allowed to go out in the smoking area, but not out of the building. You leave out of the building and you can't go back in.
And how did you cope with your pain then if you couldn't drink?
I don't know, it's a medication.
Medication, something else to help you out with.
Yeah, a sleeping pill.
So it wasn't really a quit substance abuse program, it was just a temporary place.
Yeah, the people that were in that detox,
Mm-hmm.
they were getting apartments. There was one step ahead for them. They stay in detox and get a place.
Right.
They help you get a place.
In Red Deer.
Yeah, get your IDs, they help you get your IDs and stuff.
Right.
I went in there twice in the detox and then walked out twice. I had all my IDs, everything.
And you wish you wouldn't have walked out
Yeah, I would have had a place.
because you had a place.
Oh, yeah. I would have had my own place.
Oh, you would have had your own place, yeah.
No.
So you want help, you just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I wish you could just snap your fingers and have a different situation. Be off, have your own apartment, be off the street,
My family together.
have your family together, see your kids,
It'd be nice.
and contribute to society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When people look at me different.
Yeah. Do people look at you poorly?
Uh,
Yeah. Do you think most of the people in Wetaskiwin in your situation feel the same way, that if they had a place to live and a job, they would?
yeah. People look at us a lot way different.
Yeah. People are scared of the unknown. They don't know what to think of you, of people that are in your situation. I know I didn't. I mean, I've lived in Wetaskiwin for 40 years, and I mean, I've never struck up a conversation like this with anyone like yourself ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I did, because I mean, you seem like a pretty genuine, nice person.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's already been an hour and a little bit, and it's after midnight, so I think I'm going to head home.
Yeah.
So I wish you well. I'm sorry that things are the way that they are for you right now, and I hope that you can get back in the shelter, and I hope that your life can turn around. And
Yeah, me too. All
well,
the people that are in the shelter we got are going to start a petition. Yeah, I'm going to sign
petition for what?
it for me to get back in.
Oh, to get back in. Yeah.
They get kicked out of the banks and we're going to sleep
Yeah.
outside and freeze to death.
Yeah. But there still needs to be rules,
I know.
and you might get kicked out again, and then what?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's really strict rules, and it's unfortunate because now you can't go back, but at least someone that's there now seeing you not being able to come back, do you think that that'll help make them be better there?
They get kicked out and they start doing drugs that keeps you up all night.
Yeah.
Walk the city all night till day. I've seen it happen in Edmonton.
Seen what happened?
People doing drugs and they stay up all night walking around.
Yeah. Do you ever do anything besides alcohol?
Well, I've tried a few things. Mostly smoke weed though.
Yeah.
It's legalized now.
Yeah. Was that a good thing for them to do or a bad thing?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Either way, if they didn't legalize it, people are still smoking it.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, Rory, I think I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and to sit with me and tell me your story. And I certainly am sorry about your situation. And please don't do anything that would be anything drastic because I would miss you greatly.
Yeah.
You know, if I see you around, I'll certainly stop by and say hi. And if I have a burger on me or whatever, I'll help you out when I can. Okay.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. Well, take care, Rory. Thank you so much, man. God bless, and I hope things get better for you. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that report yesterday, Scott, and a special thank you to Rory for sharing his story with us. That's all for the news today. Thank you for contributing or watching the R&R News, and remember, if it's not on the Rant and Rave, it's not news. Good afternoon.